Okay, so it's pretty simple. I want to retire at 60 and I need $80,000 a year, so I need $2 million to retire. I'm good to go. 4% rule, right? Well, how am I going to save $2 million? So the good news is you don't really need to save the whole $2 million just to retire a few years early, before your Social Security. So I would like to remind y'all, I am not a professional. I'm not a financial advisor. So seek out a fiduciary, fee-only financial advisor to build you a custom retirement plan. So let's go ahead and take a look at why the 4% rule sometimes just doesn't apply 100% of the time. So drawing more than 4% out of your nest egg for the first few years doesn't really have a rule, okay? It depends on a lot of different things, and it's a little bit harder to figure out. Number one, you have to know when and how much Social Security you're going to be drawing out. So you need to get on the SSA.gov website and open up an account and take a look at those years, from 62 to 67 or maybe even 70, depending on how large your nest egg is, to determine when you can take your Social Security and how much you're going to have to draw, how much extra you're going to have to draw out. Another thing is other income streams. Do you work for a company, or did you work for a company that had a pension that might come into play? Pensions are a great source of income that a lot of people overlook. Believe it or not, we had a great pension plan, for being a regular corporation. And, that pension really has paid off and allowed me to retire a couple years earlier than I needed to. But what surprised me is the amount of people who worked there who didn't even understand, had never looked at their pension calculator, and they didn't understand how much money they really had in there. And I would tell everybody, I would beat on that drum, you need to take a look at that. Especially when the guys got to be 60 years old, I'm saying, hey, if you looked at your pension, well, yeah, a little bit. And then when they really understood it, it was pretty eye-opening. And a few of them, boy, they lickety-split. They were out of there when they figured out how much pension money they had. So anyway, other income streams. Do you plan on working a part-time job after you retire? Things like that. And of course, how well are market returns going to treat you? What's your sequence of return risk? And that's a big one. Sequence of return risk is how much you're going to get hurt if the market takes a downturn. If it takes a 20-30% downturn in those first couple of years, that can be devastating, because it is that first couple of years when your nest egg is the largest. And, a lot of times it's before you've taken Social Security or you're on Medicare. So you've got a risk there. Right now, I'm 61 years old and I'm in that risk category. So I've got to really, take a look at my money. And I did a risk tolerance and probably took a little more than I wanted to. But anyway, take a look at that and how much you're willing to risk. So if you're the type of person who doesn't necessarily want to use a financial advisor, or you think it's a little too early to use a financial advisor, I would suggest using some kind of software. And I use what's called new retirement software. Even though I do have a financial advisor, I still use it for my own personal satisfaction. And it's going to be called DOESN now, BOLDIN. New Retirement's changing its name. If you're an old New Retirement user, you should have been getting some emails on that. But that software can really help you out, or if you have a financial advisor. Either way, I did build a website that's got some downloadable tools on it. It's got a vocabulary sheet just in case, you haven't looked into all the vocabulary terms, just so you understand what people are talking to you about. It's got a checklist on there with all the different things that a financial advisor or the new retirement software is going to need to be able to build your retirement plan for you. And the last tool is a budget sheet. And the budget sheet just simply is kind of a reminder that, hey, here's the different categories and here's some things that you might forget to put in your budget, because that budgeting is hard. If you're not a hardcore budgeter, you know, that can be a little tough getting that budget set up. And on the website there, you don't need to sign up for anything. You don't have to give your name, anything like that. It's just simply go to the website and there's 3 buttons on there, or hit the downloads button and you can go ahead and print those out. Okay? So hey, I hope you've gotten something out of this video, and if you have, I'd appreciate it if you reach down, hit that like button, and watch this video next.